Yeah. Asia bring the power, Jackie bring the fight. Chelsea got the sauce, Becky got the sight. Mark built a whole dynasty in these Vegas lights. Not a whole league trying to keep up every single night. Championships, records, the standard bearer. We welcome you all to the Aces era. Aces era. Aces era.
Hey guys, what's good? Welcome to the Aces Era podcast. I'm Kevin and that's CJ, and we're here to talk Aces basketball. The good, the bad, the petty and the messy, and the elite. If it has anything to do with the Las Vegas Aces, we're talking about it. Before we get started though, make sure you like and subscribe and follow us here on YouTube or on your podcast feed. Also, we're on all things IG, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, at Aces Era Podcast. CJ, we had an up and down week. There was a Commissioner Cup clinching, and then, a beatdown today of the Golden State Valkyries. What do you think of this Aces team so far?
I think this Aces team gave a great Father's Day gift today. I'm not a father. You're not a father. But for Father's Day today, I took my dad to his first WNBA game for Father's Day because he was in town. So, as I've talked about on here before, grew up a Golden State Warriors fan. He took me because we had season tickets. So I was like, well, you're a Valkyries fan now. I'm an Aces fan now because I live here. You still live there. So, I'm going to take you to see the Valkyries for your first WNBA game. He had a great time up until about halfway through the second quarter when Aces went boots to asses.
BTA for the Aces.
Yes. So we stayed through the end of the game. After I was like, so how'd you enjoy your gift? He's like, can I give it back? I was like, nah, you're gonna have to enjoy that gift.
What did he think was of the game in general? I know when I remember one time I was over your house. It was around Christmas time, and your mom said, "Is the Lady Lakers on?" And I said, "It's the Sparks." And so what did they think of watching their first WNBA game in person?
Well, they had a great time. They really enjoyed it. They were impressed by how good they were, which is funny because we went home after and we were talking about it, and I was like, people talk about the WNBA and women's sports in general about how they've gotten better recently. And it's not that the women, top level women's sports, they've always been good. But in the last 10 years, TV networks have realized that sports are ratings proof. So we're just going to put live sports on all the time. And it doesn't really matter what the sport is. Like you saw ESPN give up baseball and now they just run the Savannah Bananas. We don't need MLB. We just need something.
I kid you not. Yesterday, I watched 45 minutes of Roof Ball.
Exactly. As long as it's live sports, they don't really care what it is because it's going to get you ratings. So the WNBA has blown up because women's college basketball has blown up because it's been given more opportunities on TV. And as a result, those women have become stars in college, which has carried over to the pros. So now the WNBA is blowing up, and now you have more stars. And people are like, oh, they've gotten so much better. Nah, they've always been good. You just are paying attention to them now.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. We have been fans of the Aces for a while. I've been here for a lot longer. I got a couple banners now hanging up behind me. I don't know where my 23 one is. I think I was out of the town. I think you were in my seats for that game. For the
I think it's hanging up in our loft.
Okay, if you got an extra one, let me know. But I've been watching them for a long time, and I've been on women's sports because I've always felt like women's sports in just about everything has a lot more of the fundamentals that you're looking for, and then with the fundamentals come good gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And so I've always been on it, but you're right. A lot of times people are talking as if this is new news. But if you do watch some of the stuff that was happening in the 90s, like in '96. That first game was great, but like some of the games, like there was not, it wasn't as good as it is now. That is true, but it's been like this for years.
But like people talk about like, well, they weren't that good then, but I was like, but basketball was different. Like you were allowed
Mm-hmm.
to hand check. They weren't shooting as many threes. Like the game was different. We weren't that far away at that time from, the Pistons and Pacers playing, 80 to 70 games in the NBA. And the women's game was similar, where it was a lot of physicality, it was a lot of post play. The games were slower paced. You're not going to have high scoring games because that was the style. Like I talk about how I was aware of the WNBA and knew who the stars were, but I wasn't in until Becky took over because the Aces started playing a way more aesthetically pleasing style of basketball to me.
Mm-hmm. And then the league has like caught up because
Yeah,
that is where the Aces have become the standard. So they've had to keep up with the standard, which makes a lot of sense.
exactly.
With that being the case, let's start with today's game. Let's start with today's game. The Golden State Valkyrie came to the house again. I think they were here 2 weeks ago, and they came
Two,
back
3 years
again,
ago. Yeah.
and they got handed a pretty big butt whooping. The final score was 92-73 for the Aces. They really took off in the second quarter on a 21-2 run that really like just blew open the doors for the Aces. And I'm starting to think there might be a matchup problem here.
I thought there was a matchup problem coming out of game one just because Golden State doesn't really have any bigs. And the Aces are all about pounding the paint. And Kia, like they know how to beat Kia. They beat Kia in practice. This isn't a knock on Kia. It's just she's the only big out there, and the Aces just they got Melissa and Asia beating her up.
Yeah.
She's a victim of circumstance. And it's funny because like I'm watching them, and Golden State is a very high variance team. We've talked about it in the past. They try to outmath you. They're going to shoot a lot of threes and play at a slower pace. And today they were just a victim of their style of play. They shot 1 for 15 from three in the first half. They were 2 of 21 from three by the end of the third quarter when they pulled their starters.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't keep up.
And that was something that was really highlighted. The fact that the Aces were able to run off the 3-point line. They were able to create mismatches at the 3-point line, which forced bad shots. And then
Yeah.
once those weren't falling, it just never got on record for them.
And it's funny because my mom's sitting there and she's like, man, the Valkyries just need to take it into the paint. I'm like, that's not who they are. They're a 3-point shooting team. She's like, well, yeah, but they need to take it to the paint. I'm like, you don't know who H. Wilson is. That's not going to work for them either.
Mama CJ, she was just like, listen, man, I understand what you're telling me, but it doesn't matter. They need to get into the paint and finish at the rim. I hear you. I hear that's not their style of play. And I see that they don't have necessarily the players for it either, running Caitlin Chen for 24 minutes. But it's what they need to do. They need to get inside and pound the boards.
I mean, shout out to Caitlin Chen. She was probably their best player today. She looked really good, but like the shots weren't falling. When the shots aren't falling, the Valkyries have nothing going for them.
I mean, the starters for the Valkyrie, none of them made a 3-pointer. I think they were 0 for 12, 13
Ouch.
for the starters. Their offense never really got out of first gear.
Mm-mm.
And because they couldn't get it out of first gear, their defense never got going either. And the Aces were able to race to a 92-point win while pulling their starters, what seemed like in the third, it felt like. In the mid
So that was
fourth.
the thing is the Aces didn't pull their starters until 4 minutes left in the fourth, and I know part of that is circumstance in that we're missing Dana, we're missing Kennedy, Janiyah Barker still isn't available. I think because she was out with the leg injury today, but like the Valkyrie pulled their starters at the beginning of the fourth, you would think that we would like Asia shouldn't have been playing for a majority of the fourth quarter. Jackie and Chelsea shouldn't have been playing a majority of the fourth quarter. We should be able to hold a lead, and I wonder how much of that is Becky having PTSD at some of the leads we've blown this season.
That has been a case for the Aces. They do seem to blow leads and don't get like locked in or as locked in as they should be for some of these games.
Yeah. Because they've already blown a huge lead to the Valkyrie and then had to come from behind win. Yeah. And that was just a few weeks ago.
They did have 5 players in double figures, and I noticed that they didn't seem to be running the same game plan of like really just doubling Asia every time she touched the ball.
I think part of that was because everyone was scoring. Like last time, Asia was going off in the first half, so it became we need to stop Asia, and then everyone else started eating. Versus this time, everyone was eating off jump, so you couldn't really just focus on Asia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was something that I noticed. I mean, Jackie was going off in this game. She finished the game with 21 points. She was 9 of 12 shooting. Like, Jackie is like either crazy efficient, or usually crazy efficient, or hunting for her shot in the game. And today she was 9 of 12, 3 of 6 from 3. So those 3 shots that she missed were 3-pointers.
Jewel was 4 of 5 from 3 as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Super efficient, getting the job done. The Aces 3-point shooting in this game, they look like the Valkyrie. They're shooting threes like they were the Valkyrie. 11 for 24 from 3, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
funny because like we've talked about how the Aces need to shoot more threes. You don't necessarily need to shoot more threes. You just need to make more threes.
Right.
And 11 threes is great.
Right. And it's something that they're looking for them to do in each game because, like you said, doing the math, the 3 opens up the paint for them. And, I mean, them shooting the threes allowed the Aces to have 46 points in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're hitting the 3-pointers.
The Aces' entire game plan every game is to have a conga line in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
So let's shoot some threes and open up that conga line to the paint. Like, let's go.
Well, that and make the extra pass, right? Finishing the game again with another 21 assists for them. Fantastic job sharing the ball.
And you know what's funny is like Melissa Smith finished with 14 points today. She only had 1 assist. I counted probably 4 or 5 times she could have kicked it out to Stephanie Talbot because they were collapsing on her and leaving Stephanie Talbot wide open at 3.
Yeah. And it was especially when she was getting going and she was just getting those offensive boards. She's the only one to have any offensive rebounds for the Aces today with 2, right? So she got 2. And both of those were just like working herself around down low to get those boards while after a shot goes up. I still don't know why no one else offensive rebounds on the Aces.
I think a lot of it just has to do with they're working the perimeter. But like you say that, but like Stephanie Talbot and Jackie get offensive boards. It's just they get the long offensive boards.
Yeah, the ones that come bound, clank off and come flying back out.
Yeah. Versus Melissa's like under the rim. So she's getting the short ones.
Mm-hmm. Because she gets in there.
Yes.
Which is really good. The Aces, we started off by saying they're a matchup problem. What do you think is the reason why there's such a disparity? Yes, they don't have any bigs, but the guard play seems to be outworked as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's as simple as rock, paper, scissors. And we might be the rock to their scissors.
We're going to get to our paper in a minute. So let's talk about, before we get to there, let's go back just a game and talk about the Aces. Actually, let's jump back and talk about that paper situation. We came into the week knowing that the Aces needed to win one of two to make it to the Commissioner Cup. The Aces also seemed to know they needed to win one of two, so they took a game off. They lost to Dallas again, 96-66.
There's losses, and then there's what that was.
Yeah.
Like, so every game, like as we prep for the podcast during the week, I watch the games and I take notes. I literally took 0 notes of this game. It was just on to the next one. Like I had nothing. If you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Like what I will say about this game is I was watching this game and it was just out of hand very early. And it reminded me of a quote Draymond Green said when the Warriors were in the middle of their dynasty. And he was like, so when you're like on a run like this and this counts for most NBA and I would probably guess WNBA teams too. There's 10 games every season where about 5 of them, everything's going to go right. And you're just going to win that game. All the shots are going to fall. You're going to get all the calls. Everything's going to work out. There's also going to be 5 games where everything goes wrong. And no matter what you do, you just can't win that game. Like your shots aren't going to fall. You're going to commit every foul. You're going to miss every loose ball. It's just, it's over. I think this might have been just one of those games where nothing goes right.
The thing is, though, Jessica Shepard had another 15 rebounds. Last time we played them, Jessica Shepard had 21, 22 rebounds, something like that.
But at least those games were competitive versus like this one was bad. Like I at least had notes for the other game. There was no notes this game.
What I'm getting at though is that do the Aces just not have a matchup for Jessica Shepard?
So it's funny, like if we want to single out Jessica Shepard as single, like by herself, I was looking up some advanced stats because I look up stats as we prep for the podcast every week. So I was looking up player efficiency rating, which is a catch-all stat for people who aren't stat nerds like me. That kind of just says like how good you are on the court. So basically what it does is it counts your points, your rebounds, your assists, your blocks, your steals. That's a positive. It takes your turnovers, your fouls, makes it a negative. It counts it into one score. Asia always pretty much is number 1 in player efficiency rating. This season, she's at 29.3. To put that in perspective, an average starter is at 15. An all-star is around 20.
And
Jessica Shepard is... Yeah, and then Asia's at 29.3. Last season, Asia was at 32. And she won MVP. Jessica Shepard's second, she's at 24.8. So, like, you're talking about Jessica Shepard being a problem. She is second in player efficiency rating in the WNBA. Number 3 is Stewie at 23.4. Number 4 is KP at 22.9. And number 5 is Olivia Miles at 21.7. Like, Stewie and KP, we would be talking about in the MVP conversation. Right. Maybe we should be talking about Jessica Shepard that way.
I mean, I think Jessica Shepard is in the MVP conversation.
She's averaging 14, 11, and 6 right now.
And I think she's the only one standing in Alyssa Smith's way for the MIP for sure. For the most improved player for sure.
I mean, the only reason she probably doesn't win the MVP unless it becomes a narrative thing like we talked about a few weeks ago. But she's probably winning the MIP as long as she plays enough games.
Yeah, and she'll definitely be first team All WNBA.
Yes.
Because I don't know how the Aces can't seem to stop her from getting boards.
It's like they forget to box her out.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know what to say. I mean, one time is a fluke. 2 times is something to look at. This is the 3rd game that she's like gone off against the Aces.
Because she went off in the preseason game too.
Yeah. And so And like you said, with her PER, she's going off against everybody. This is true, but the Aces have Alyssa Smith and Asia Wilson.
And you know what's wild about I want to give Jessica Shepard her flowers right now. Like, this is actually what I wanted to talk about for this game. So, like, Jessica Shepard was in Minnesota all those years. So, this is her first year where she's like the starter. Like, this is her being the starter. So, she's averaging a career high in minutes, points, rebounds, assists. But, like, her career high in minutes, she's only averaging 6 minutes more than her previous career high, but she's averaging 6 points more than her career high. She's averaging 4 rebounds more than her career high. She's nearly doubled her career high in assists. Like, she's balling.
And we get to see it every time they play the Aces.
Yeah, including this Thursday in the house.
Back again. It's crazy that, like, the Aces have played, like, no East Coast teams and have played all of the West Coast teams so many times. Sparks, they've seen the Sparks 3 or 4 times already.
They've played the Sparks 3 times, I believe. Yeah, they played
Mercury
the Sparks
twice.
3 times. They've played Golden State 3 times. They've played the Mercury twice. This will be the 3rd time against the Wings in the regular season.
Have we seen? We haven't seen Connecticut at all. We
saw Connecticut twice.
Oh,
that
back to back. Haven't seen Washington.
Haven't seen Washington. Haven't seen Chicago yet.
Nope.
Haven't seen Toronto.
Man, their scheduling is so crazy.
The worst part is the East is the weaker side.
The Aces need some of them games to, like, get the numbers up.
Yeah.
Last question about the Wings game. Wings blew the Aces out. There ain't nothing more to say about it. It was a Dallas beatdown. They're super physical when it comes to Asia, and it just works. And so the Aces are going to have to figure that out because Dallas will be in the playoffs. And so they will have to see them again. My only question to you, if you are the GM of the Dallas Wings, are you shopping Alyssa Smith?
No. And I say that because she's an excellent depth piece if you have an injury.
She's costing you $1 million a year for 3 years.
Yeah, you shop her in the offseason. Your team has BTA to the Aces twice now. You probably have a good shot at getting to the finals, if not winning a title. You hold on to her through the end of this season.
Then in the offseason, you're looking to move Atlanta.
Yeah, like, I think the roster that you have right now, it looks like a contender based off of what you've done. Like, they've been up and down. They've lost some games they should have won. But if you can hang with the best teams in the league and beat them by 30, you probably keep that roster intact and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Great game also by Arike. I'm glad she was able to show up. Hadn't seen Arike around here. 22 points for her. 7 assists. Fantastic game for Arike. Paige was Paige. AZ was AZ. Nothing much more to say.
Yep.
So, as we stated, the Aces had to win one of 2 games to make it to the Commissioner Cup final.
After watching that Dallas game and having flashbacks to opening night / opening day, ring ceremony day, I was nervous.
I was less nervous because I had seen, I saw Phoenix against the Aces the first game, but then I've seen Phoenix play the rest of the season.
That is true.
I was like, okay, if they could handle Makani, because she's the only new figure here, and if they could figure out what to do with Yo-Yo Nogic, they should be okay. And that first quarter had me nervous. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Right? First quarter, first half. Right? Aces were up and down. Phoenix came out hot. They scored like nearly 50 points in that first half. Aces only had like 45, and I was like, this is going to be a slobber knocker, but they got to figure out what they need to do, because I personally watched Phoenix fall apart in the second half in games before.
The worst part is I'm watching the Aces game. I got the Wings game on my iPad, and I got the
Lynx
game on my phone, because I'm like, I got to make sure these other teams lose if the Aces don't pull this out.
It was such an interesting thing, because I was listening to podcasts and other sports talk, and they're saying, like, if the Aces win, they win it. If the Aces lose and Minnesota loses, the Aces are in. If the Aces lose and Minnesota wins, Minnesota's in because of the point differential. If Minnesota wins and then someone does a rain dance, then maybe the Wings can get in too by osmosis. It was like, yes. it was just such a cluster on what needed to be done. Mind you, I watched this game immediately after watching the Liberty finish taking on the Sky, and I was like, oh, that was easy. They just need to finish winning these games. And then they moved on. What a novel concept. What a novel concept for the Aces.
Oh, but to be in the East. Just to be in the East.
The Aces, though, were able to get 18 steals in this game.
Yeah, it's funny, like, watching Phoenix, they were super careless with the ball. Like, one of the notes I had is, Phoenix is Alyssa Thomas's team. Like, she's a walking triple-double. She had 11 assists that game, but it didn't feel like she was running the offense.
Well, Ka was going off, so they just kind of let Ka go.
Yeah.
But then Ka was also in foul trouble. So with Kahleah Copper in foul trouble, when she was in, she was cooking. But she wasn't in a bunch because they were calling a bunch of fouls on Kahleah.
Yeah. Which they were legit fouls. Like, we've had some complaints throughout the season that fouls have been soft. They've been inconsistent with the officiating. But, like, the fouls were legit.
Yeah. And she picked him up, and she was picking him up early, which was taking her off the floor, which allowed for Jackie to get 20 points, because Kahleah seems to guard Jackie most of the time. And Monique Makani guards Chelsea. So Jackie was having a bit of fits when Kahleah was in, but when Ka was out, Jackie was like, fantastic. What did Shaq say? Barbecue chicken. That's what Jackie was saying. And she was able to get the job done. She finished with 20 points, 9 assists, 5 steals for Jackie Young.
It was a normal day. Just as easy.
One thing that's crazy to me is that I've been thinking about MVP voting. I voted for MVP. I had Jackie in there. I voted for Aces players and then people that have cooked the Aces. So
Jessica Shepard was
Jessica Shepard got one of my votes. Yeah, I had tweeted that I put that on Threads, and someone said, "When did Naz Hillman cook the Aces?" And I was like, "Well, there's only so many guard spots, and I can't put Alicia Gray in there again. I just can't, because there's only so many guard spots. There's more guards. There's more front court spots than back court spots, if anyone's voted. So it was tough, right? So I put in Naz Hillman. But as I was putting it in there, people were saying Jackie may not be an all-star this year because she's been, I'm using air quotes here, inconsistent.
Yeah.
Now
we've talked about this, and
Jackie Young had 2 bad games.
Yes.
Other than that, she's been Jackie Young.
Yeah.
And this game was no different.
But you don't understand. She's been inconsistent.
I don't know that 5 steals and 9 boards or 9 assists is inconsistent.
People saying that she's inconsistent is like there being a cloudy day, like once in a month, and then being like, oh, I guess the sun's not coming out anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And you're like, well, it was just cloudy for like a couple of days. And they're like,
yeah,
no, we don't, it's not sunny no more. It's just cloudy all the time.
It's just weather's terrible here. We should probably move.
It's crazy because Jackie's cooking. Nalissa's another one that's not getting enough All-Star nods. She had 21 points in this game against Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
5 rebounds, 21 points, another couple offensive rebounds. I don't. Why are people not looking at Nalissa Smith?
It's funny because Nalissa, Jackie, and Asia did all of the cooking. Like they made the whole meal. They had 74 of the 86 points that game.
And Nalissa was able to neutralize Natasha Mack, who really went off against the Aces in that first game, but then was invisible. I think she took 2 shots. I think Natasha Mack took 2 shots. 3. She took 3 shots. She was over 3. Like
the Aces showed up and played defense in the second half because they did not play any defense in the first half.
Right. There was a long conversation in the locker room, I'm sure. And then the second half, first half they gave up 50 points. Second half they gave up 27 points. They gave up more points in the first quarter than they did the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Which is like you just said, goes to show you that they realize that defense is going to win this game for them.
I just don't understand. I don't understand how the effort comes and goes.
That's one thing I want to talk about, right? Okay. Let's get to our feature segment today. What do the Aces need to do to be more consistent? The Aces have had excuse me. The Aces have had 16 games so far. They're 12-4. Fantastic record. They're number 2 in the league. Right behind Minnesota. Fantastic record. But then there's days that they look like they're sleepwalking, and there's days they look like they can beat everybody.
There's days like today.
Yeah, what do they need to do to figure out this consistency, CJ?
Honestly, I don't know how you fix defense because defense is effort. Like offensively, they need to figure out the bench scoring. A lot of that has to do with Kennedy not being available. Shout out to Jewel Lloyd for finding her shot this week in the game. Like she hit shots against Dallas. She was the only one hitting shots against Dallas. And then she was 4 or 5 from 3 today. Like we're going to ignore the Phoenix game. She didn't make her shots, but only 3 people were making shots that game. And we won. So we got to figure out something for the bench because it's Kennedy and not a whole lot else. If we can get some scoring from Jewel, if we can get a little bit of scoring from Cheyenne Parker-Tyus in the games that she plays, because Brianna Turner doesn't really play that many minutes. KB only plays minutes in the games that Cheyenne doesn't. Like, I think our bench scoring basically needs to come from Kennedy and Jewel.
Yeah.
And with Jewel essentially being like Jewel and Jackie are our 2 point of attack defenders, but it's not even that. It's like you got to do a better job of chasing people off the 3-point line. You got to do a better job of securing rebounds because even though the Aces are a great defensive rebounding team, they still give up a ton of O boards, which makes no sense when you have Nalissa Smith and Asia Wilson.
Correct. And Asia doesn't seem to get hardly any offensive rebounds, but Nalissa Smith is a dog down there, and so is Stephanie Talbot. So creating more of that, and you're right, it comes from the defense. The defense creates the offense for them. This Phoenix game, 18 steals.
Yes.
Able to run off with this game. Valkyrie game, they were able to get 3 blocks, 5 steals, and just push them off the three-point line by grabbing 25 rebounds, right? It's able to create the offense from the defense. And then there's just games where sometimes they look like they forgot that defense was also part of the game.
It's almost like they have games where they feel like they're entitled to win. Like they know they're going to win, so they don't try. And then halfway through the second quarter, they're like, oh, we got hit in the mouth. We should probably turn it on.
Yeah. And it takes that like punch for them to get going sometimes.
Yeah, it's weird, and I don't know how Becky fixes that.
Right. It's an attitude thing. Another thing people talk about all the time is that Asia needs help. Asia has help. Nalissa's right there, and she's giving her the help. I want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah,
She has Nalissa. Nalissa's giving the help.
she has
The,
Jackie. Jackie's giving her help.
yeah, the game's easier when Kennedy is playing because she's able to give you a different aspect that you have to adjust to, and then you have to adjust back to Asia.
Like, I just want to be clear because I was just talking about PER a minute ago with Jessica Shepard, with her being at 24 and Asia being at 29, like head and shoulders above everyone else at number one for the season. To be clear, Asia's MVP season last season, she was at 32. 2025, she was at 33.4. 2024, she was at 34.94. 2023, she was at 32.9. So, like, she actually has to do less. She is getting more help. They're still in second place.
Yeah.
If she has to do more, maybe they run away from everyone else, or maybe it's at the detriment of the team.
I mean, that's a good point because with the number that you just rattled off, her PER is usually over 30.
Yeah.
This year it's less than 30, yet they've only lost 4 games out of 16, which is a fantastic stat line. They would be in first clear if it wasn't for Olivia Miles just running wild with that Minnesota team.
Yeah.
With that being the case, Asia has the help. It's working. But she still is having to put in games of like 30, 33 against Phoenix. And I want to make sure this is clear. Based on watching the Aces for all these years, that's how the team's designed.
Yes.
It is, in fact, how the team's designed. But everyone needs to show up to work every day, and Asia Wilson can't be the only one. Asia Wilson and Melissa Smith.
Well, it's funny because the Aces will tell you it's not even important for Asia to score. It's just important for her to get touches. Like,
Right.
the offense needs to run through her so she can make the decision. Is she going to shoot? Is she going to drive? Is she going to pass? Because she has so much gravity that when the defense focuses on her, it makes everything easier for everyone else.
I mean, that's true. It opens everything up. And the Dallas game really shows what the Aces can't be regularly to get this done. But today's Valkyrie game shows who the Aces can be whenever they want to be.
Yes.
They just need to figure out how to get the Valkyrie. I don't even know if they need to figure out how to get it more consistently because they have it, right? They're 12-4. 2 of those losses are to Dallas, though.
It's funny because they've won 75% of their games. Like, 12-4 is a fantastic record, and we're still worried about them because of the losses that we've seen.
I mean, they lost to Phoenix, it was a blowout. They lost to Dallas, it was a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Sparks, that was close. They lost to Dallas, it was a blowout.
But even the Sparks game, they got torched from 3.
Flambéed by Kelsey Plum.
Yeah. And then the other Dallas game, like you said, Jessica Shepard killed them on glass.
Yeah. It's just the inconsistency is weird. It's not crazy, though. It's not like a raise an alarm type thing because we're only talking 4 games. We just rattled them off.
Yeah.
And we throw out the Phoenix game. We know how that works for the Aces. Anytime they get like a banner or ring ceremony, they forgot that they have a game that day. They're too worried about doing other stuff. But it's just something that needs to be watched for because these teams are not getting easier, CJ.
Nope.
New York is out there lurking. the Fever are figuring it out. The Dream won another chippy one the other day, and they got grit. These teams are right there looking at the Aces, and the Aces are top dog. That's why they're in the Commissioner Cup. Let's talk about the Commissioner Cup final. They got it done. They're moving on. They're facing the Liberty.
We talked about it in, I think, our very first episode. It was going to be Aces versus Liberty.
Yeah. We're going to get a Commissioner Cup preview, sort of, this coming Tuesday when the Liberty comes to the house.
How funny would it be if both teams just rested all the starters? Like it's one of those
Show
NFL.
Nothing.
Yeah,
show nothing.
Just bench players.
Shania Barker's first game is going to be that one. Like that is going to be show nothing. And for New York, Ionescu's going to be out. Satu's out. Stewie's out. We're just running all the international people.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. The Commissioner Cup is here. One of these teams will be the first team to win two. The Aces did just exactly what was needed to get there.
I mean, it's one of those like, why am I going to go above and beyond at work? I can do just the bare minimum to get there.
I get paid the same. The same. It's not they're getting paid per win, per losses.
I mean, their charity is, but whatever.
Whatever. Well, Asia will make a separate donation.
Yeah. It's an extra $2,000, like whatever.
Yeah, it's nothing for her. Nothing. Deuce costs more than that. Ace, Deuce, and Trey. Them dogs cost more than that. So, the Aces, with them being in the Cup final, and one of them winning it all, what do you think the Aces need to look out for when it comes to New York?
The Aces need to, like, the way that the Aces shut Golden State down from 3 today, they need to do that to New York, because Golden State is number 1. Like, they make the most threes, they shoot the most threes. New York's number 2. New York makes almost 10 3-pointers per game. They shoot 28 3-pointers a game. They're third in the league in 3-point percentage at about 36%. If they can do what they just did to Golden State, they'll be fine. Like, obviously what they did to Golden State was amazing, and I don't think they can be that good again because that was an outlier game. But if you can keep them below their averages, I think the Aces will be in good shape. Because New York's not a dominant offensive rebounding team. They're not really pounding the paint. They are hunting for quality shots, and they are torching people from 3.
True. If they could figure that out, if like you said, the Valkyrie blueprint, it's kind of what they need to do to replicate this kind of win.
It's like the Valkyrie, if the Valkyrie had quality bigs. Like, that's New York.
Speaking of quality bigs, like, Jonquel is going to be an issue.
Jonquel's an issue. Stewie's an issue. Satu's an issue. Like,
well, I mean, that's the thing. No, I know all that, right? Satu may not even play. Who knows? Their injury stuff up and down.
Yeah.
Sabrina, same thing, up and down. But Paula Astaire, I believe her name is, SDA.
Mm-hmm.
She's still killing it. Stewie. But the reason I bring up Jonquel specifically is because there's been games where Jonquel is firing from 3 consistently.
You know what's wild to me is when Jonquel was in Connecticut, she was like Baby Shaq. And now she's raining threes.
She's like Channing Frye out here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like that low post game didn't go anywhere.
Right. She still has that as well.
Yeah.
And with Stewie and Jonquel on the floor at the same time, I'm assuming Melissa's going to draw Jonquel.
Probably. Yeah, probably because Asia's more mobile to cover Stewie.
Yeah. So Nalissa comparatively looks small.
Yes.
Comparatively. So the defense on Jonquel is going to be she was an MVP of the last Commissioner Cup game the Aces played in, Commissioner Cup final. Jonquel ended up winning the MVP with her rebounding that I didn't even realize. It's going to be a mission for her to be covered by Nalissa, but I think that's the way the Aces, if they can neutralize Jonquel, the Aces can win this Commissioner Cup.
I mean, I feel like the Aces can win this Commissioner Cup, but it always comes back to effort. And I don't know if their lack of effort always concerns me because you don't know what team is going to show up.
Which we don't. Who knows which team is the real Aces team, right?
Yeah.
They get up for one, disappear for another. It is what it is in terms of that. Speaking of disappearing, where is Kennedy Carter?
I assume her leg is still hurt.
Question mark. Apparently, there's a rumor that at some point this past week or two, she had posted free agent on her Instagram.
Are we sure that wasn't like her Bumble? Maybe her, her Hinge?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. People saw it. She had put free agent. Then she took it off and then had nothing. And then she put back on their Aces in all caps. Apparently in Chicago, there was a point where they had listed her out with illness and she missed like 4 games. Some people think it was a Michael Jordan suspension.
Uh-huh.
No one knows. She's now missed 3 games, but she's been on the sidelines for 2 of the 3 games.
So the Dallas game, I believe they said she was out with illness, but then it became leg injury again.
Right.
So I don't understand. Like, it's possible she re-aggravated the leg injury against Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I thought they pulled her because Minnesota was hunting her in that game.
That's what it looked like to me.
That's what it looked like. And, she was still banged up. She was working her way back from injury. So maybe they decided she needed more time, but it's weird to come back for 2 games, especially because, and this more goes about WNBA with like transparency, which we talked about. I need more injury transparency because as far as we know, that leg injury is like a bone bruise because we saw her fall and then her leg was hurt and then she was out. So like, it's kind of hard to aggravate a bruise. Like you aggravate like a pull. Right. So we don't really know what this injury is. Like we're speculating. So maybe it is, oh, my leg hurts because I'm not making enough money. I think she's probably hurt because she was balling, and I don't think as good as she was playing,
she has not been the same since she went down in that Golden State game.
But it was only been 2 games.
No. The Golden State game, when they were in Golden State.
Yeah.
She was balling before that.
2 games since then.
That's what I'm saying. So she's missed like 4 or 5 games, and then also didn't look great in the 2 games that she was in, just physically. It seemed like it wasn't all there.
So unless she's like trying to get back to 100%, because like considering she was out of the league and this was her chance to get back, she was making herself a lot of money with how she was playing prior to that injury. I couldn't see her throwing it away with bad behavior, but I don't know.
The Aces seem like the right fit for her.
Yeah.
A lot of teams apparently, rumor is a lot of teams would not have been interested in Kennedy even with her being available. A lot of teams still aren't interested with Kennedy. I was watching something and someone said, that's where I first heard that she also was out with illness in Chicago for a while. And when I first heard that, it was from a podcast or it was from like a news thing. It seemed like a pretty official thing. And what they said was that person talked to other GMs in the league, and they said that they didn't expect Kennedy to be on the team at the end of the season.
Huh.
During that Chicago season. And she said she circled back, and she said those same people don't think she'll make it through a whole Aces season. They could just be haters. But I thought that was just an interesting take that was like low-key reported.
She was averaging 20 a game off the bench. Like, as long as she keeps playing that well, she keeps her personality in check, she'll be fine.
I agree. CJ, let's do the stock report. Let's get to some stocks up, stock down for everybody.
Number one stock up for me, Jewel Lloyd. She's 9 of 19 from 3 for the week. I know a couple weeks ago we were talking about maybe the Monstars had taken her talent. It appears to be back.
She got it back. Congrats to the Looney Tunes for winning that game on Moron Mountain. And the power's returning to Jewel Lloyd.
Yes. Who you got?
I have NaLyssa in my most improved player odds, right? I think NaLyssa Smith and Jessica Shepard are the odds-on favorites to win the most improved player. NaLyssa is turning in 15-plus point games every game. She's looking better than she did before. And this, I believe, will give the Aces their second most improved player after Jackie Young.
I believe so, yes.
And I love it for her because she was a number 2 overall pick. And now she seems to have found the team that works for her. And she's doing all the dirty work.
It's funny because, as we talked about last week, fit is so important for players. Like Jessica Shepard getting out of Minnesota, going to Dallas, her minutes didn't go up that much, but just the style of play and the fit for her, all her stats jumped. And it seems to be the same thing with NaLyssa. As soon as she came over to Vegas, everything clicked.
Yeah. And her playing with Asia being a sponge, that really works out for her. And the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
Who do you have for stock down?
Stock down? This isn't the Aces. This is the WNBA and their official explanations for stuff. Like, in general. So we're big, like the WNBA is very big right now on they're legislating facial contact out of the games. So they're like, we got to review if this is a hostile act. We got to review if this is a flagrant. We got to review this. We got to review that. So then they go to the table. Yeah, there was a couple of reviews today. So then they go to the table, and then the official looks at the camera, especially if you're at home. The official looks at the camera, and they explain what they're calling. But it's not a hot mic. So nobody at home knows what he's explaining. And nobody in the arena knows what he's explaining. So now we have to figure out what happened. And you got the announcers, like you have the rules analyst saying, well, I don't think this is a foul because of XYZ. And then you got the color and the play-by-play saying like, yeah, we agree with you. We've watched a lot of basketball. We don't think it's this because of XYZ. And then it is that, but we don't understand the justification. Give me an actual explanation. Give them a hot mic.
Maybe year 2, we'll get a better situation there.
Maybe.
Because there's more eyes on the product now. And so you need to be more, like we talked about, being more forthright and forthcoming with things. This is just another step in that direction when it comes to officiating. Like when Ed Hockley flips it on and then says what the thing is, we need someone having a mic like that.
Yeah, I just give. And the worst part is they do it in the NBA. You already have the template. Do the same thing.
Yeah. Just follow it.
Yeah.
Stock down for me is Janiah Parker's chances of playing this season. She's injured, oft injured, but when healthy, don't see her on the court.
So she was healthy on Monday. and they were down by 30. And I was like, if there's a chance, this is the chance. And she still didn't get in.
Correct. Now, very, very possibly they're using the spots as their developmental spots.
But they still have their developmental spots.
Right, but you get paid way less. So we're going to make sure she gets paid. Because, Mark's good for that. Making sure people get paid. Becky doesn't want to carry 12 players, no way.
So she's just there to fill out the roster? Because
Fill out
Becky
the
would
roster.
carry less if she could?
Yeah, Becky would carry 11 if she could.
She would.
And so now that it's mandatory to have 12, Jania's there and she's learning and she's soaking everything up. But I don't think she's getting it. If she couldn't get in on the Dallas game, I don't know when she plays.
She wasn't dressed today because if she was dressed today, I would have thought she would have got in today. But I really thought she was getting in that Dallas game because that game was out of hand.
Right. Do you think the Aces can get Aaliyah Nye back in the offseason?
Oh, I hope so, but I doubt it. I think if Aaliyah Nye was going to come back, she would have came back this season. But honestly, maybe not. Because I don't think she had a rotation spot if she came back. And after sitting on the bench with very few chances this past season when they won the title, like Becky looked at her occasionally and said, "Hey, Aaliyah, go in for like 2 minutes." Right. I don't think she wanted to do that again. But I think if this offseason rolls in, especially because the Aces are going to have a ton of free agents, and she thinks she's going to get a rotation spot, maybe she comes back.
I just looked. She is on a 3-year deal, so possibly not. Because when they picked her up with her being waived.
They picked her up she's still in a rookie contract.
Mm-hmm, so still in her rookie contract. So, because she's not getting like a ton of minutes in Atlanta either.
Yeah.
But she's still in her rookie contract, so that is definitely going to be something they do. Because I was really asking because Janiah Barker is definitely not taking up a spot, but Janiah Barker is taking that like 12th man spot for the Aces. Very easily, I'm sure they can figure out how to get it down to 10 because that's what Becky likes to do. And next season, slot her in there for that guard help. I was just thinking out loud. That was it.
If Becky was trying to get down to 10, she's not cutting Dana Evans. So is it Brianna Turner or is it KB?
It's Cheyenne.
You think it's Cheyenne?
Right now, it's Cheyenne. It's definitely not KB. KB is on this team. KB is Memphis Bleak to Becky is Jay-Z. As long as she's alive, KB is a millionaire. She'll be in her will somewhere. She ain't never got to make a record. She's got her taken care of. It's great. KB's in there for life.
Do you think KB ends up in the Adonis Haslam, you're in this organization for life spot as long as Becky's here?
Possibly. She's bringing the vibes, man. If you want a party, if you want someone good vibes, KB's the call.
It's interesting. I will be interested to see how long KB stays because I feel like if KB has aspirations of like a bigger role or something and she doesn't think she's going to get it here, she might leave. But if she's happy with her role, I think she has a spot for life.
I mean, when they went to Mexico after they won last season, when they were in Mexico, she got Kia to go live on Threads. She got Jackie to go live on Threads. Bruh. Locked in. She's bringing the vibes to the locker room.
Team chemistry is important.
Yeah. Let's look at the league, Siege. Minnesota's in first. 13-4. Aces are a half game back.
Minnesota dropped a game to Washington today. I was very excited to see that. I need them to drop more games though, because like I know we're still relatively early in the season. We're coming up on the halfway point.
Yeah.
But I'm still worried about playoff seeding because I don't want to have to play Minnesota and New York in the playoffs.
Or Dallas, man. What are you talking about? There's so many teams that they don't want to see.
I don't want to play that. So as of right now, with the Aces in second, if the playoffs started today, the Aces in the first round would play Indiana, which not a cakewalk, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Then in the second round, they would play the winner of Atlanta and Golden State because Minnesota's at 1 and New York's at 4, so they would play each other.
yeah. And Dallas is at 5.
Assuming New York beat Dallas because they're
This right here is the best timeline.
this is the best timeline right now. Everyone stay where you are. No moving.
Yeah. This is the optimal timeline right now. I'm just laughing because it's true. This would be the nicest for the Aces currently,
Actually,
based on what we've seen.
If Golden State could flip flop with Indiana and Golden State drop to 7, Indiana go to 6, that would be the best timeline.
And let Indiana lose to the Dream because they've lost
Yeah.
to them twice or 3 times already this season.
Mm-hmm.
So let them lose to the Dream. That would be ideal. But right now,
Can you imagine if that was the timeline and we only had to face one of Minnesota, New York, and Dallas?
oh, it'll be fantastic.
That would be
Another
beautiful.
championship loading.
That'd be great.
It'll be great. I watched the Dream game the other day. They were playing Indiana. Man, they're cooking in Atlanta, dog.
Yes.
They're cooking in Atlanta. Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard. I'm very impressed.
Weren't they like? I think Atlanta was like 12 of 15 from 3 at the half or something crazy yesterday. Yeah. It was insane.
They got Caitlin Clark in foul trouble.
Mhm.
They ended up just owning the Fever yesterday.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark had 7 assists and 7 turnovers.
Yeah, she had like 20-something points, but like she's such a high usage player.
Yeah.
She has the ball in her hand. Explain what usage is.
So usage is your possessions that end in a shot, assist, or turnover. So essentially, like the possession ends because of you. She's a very high usage player. Like if I were to pull up usage rate, where's my box? I'm sure I could find it pretty quick. Hers is pretty high.
Yeah, hers is high. Obviously, Asia's is high because of how much she touches the ball. But the usage rate of like Caitlin's getting points, but she's a high volume shooter. I think she only hit like 3 of 10 threes yesterday or something like that. It's a lot of the time the ball is in her hands and leaving her hands to try to make something happen for the Fever. Whereas like in Atlanta, they can really work together and string things together. I mean, we were talking about the Aces assist a minute ago. That helps with the usage rate because everyone's sharing the ball and you're not the one Chelsea's not always the one ending the possession, or Jackie's not always the one ending the possession when it comes to it, or Asia for that matter. So it helps, though I'm sure Asia's usage is still super high.
It's funny, usage rate is down on WNBA.com right now.
Okay. So we'll talk
So I
about
can't
usage
tell
rate.
you what it is.
We'll talk about usage rates a little bit more next week.
I found it on Basketball Reference. Asia's number 1 at 32.5. So 32.5% of the Aces possessions end in Asia shot, assist, or turnover. Caitlin Clark is number 2 at 31.8.
Yeah. The usage rate is just super high for her, so I just knew that was part
And that's
of
the
the
problem. Like that's the problem with Indiana is Caitlin Clark's not nearly as efficient as Asia.
Correct. Especially because she's a guard, and so she's not just getting the ball and then doing a turnaround jumper. She's trying to create and therefore loses the ball. It is what it is. And she still can't go left. And those are just some things we've noticed. New York, we're gonna see New York on Tuesday. This coming week, we got the New York game. The Aces play Dallas, and then they play Chicago on Sunday. will be coming to you Sunday evening after the Chicago game. But this New York Liberty game is the first time the Aces are seeing them. I expect them to show nothing. Neither team to show anything.
It's going to look like an NFL preseason game or an NFL end of season game when they play each other in the playoffs next week.
The Dallas game, though, is the most interesting game of the week to me, because the Aces need to figure out, does paper cover rock?
If Dallas blows out the Aces again, I think it's time to like sound the alarms
For the Wings, not for the season, but for the Wings.
Yes, yeah, not for the season, but like it becomes one of those like, if we're near the end of the season and we need to lose a game to avoid the Wings in the playoffs, like maybe you consider throwing a game.
Yeah, because they just seem to have the number, and that's not good.
Yeah.
CJ, you got anything else for the people?
Happy Father's Day. Hopefully you give your dad's a better present than I gave my dad of the Aces dominating the Valkyrie.
He had to learn. Your dad had to learn. That's how it goes sometimes. All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of here. Appreciate you guys tapping in with us here at the Aces Era Podcast. We'll be back next week after the Chicago Sky game. You can find us everywhere once again at the Aces Era Podcast, the @ Aces Era Podcast. And make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell a friend, tell an Aces fan, tell everyone to come on over and watch us and listen to the Aces Era Podcast. I'm Kevin, that's CJ once again, and we'll catch y'all next time. For the Aces Era, we out. Peace.
Peace.